The Good Dinosaur is the new Disney Pixar film that finally came out. This thing has been in development for a very long time. There has been a case where the entire movie was scrapped and they redid it and they got rid of the majority of their cast, which is insane. And what this movie's about is this young dinosaur named Arlo who lives with their family because the asteroid didn't hit Earth, it just kind of glided right past it. And one day Arlo gets really separated by his family, like he ends up in a raging river and ends up like in a completely faraway location. And he kind of has to team up with this little critter human baby named Spot. And so Arlo and Spot are kind of encountering new things in this world, and we get to see a lot of really pretty awesome animation because, let's not deny it, Pixar has made some great animation before. Even in Cars, my least favorite Pixar series, Cars and Cars 2, the animation is still really cool, and in this movie, the animation is stupendous. It's like they show close-ups of like leaves and the river, and it's like, oh my God! I literally said that in the theater, and it wasn't that bad because there wasn't a lot of people in there, so I said it kind of out loud, like, oh my God, this is beautiful! And it's true, you will look at the animation in this movie and you might be blown away. And even the dinosaurs and the other creatures look really good too. Very well done animation, very, very, very superb. Like, Pixar, you're so good at animating things. Whoa, so great. Okay, now let's actually talk about this movie. I really did enjoy The Good Dinosaur. I had a lot of fun with it. Here's the thing though. A lot of people will be saying, oh, is it better than Inside Out? Is it just as good as Inside Out? No, dumb. I feel like that's a really stupid thing because Inside Out, in my opinion, is a masterpiece of animation. It's my favorite film of this year. So comparing Good Dinosaur to Inside Out, that's not fair because The Good Dinosaur, it's different than Inside Out. It's not a masterpiece. Is it a really good animated film? Yes. For one, Arlo was a very, very likable character. You really did feel bad for this kid because he's not the bravest dinosaur ever. He's very cowardly. That's why he's such a good dinosaur, because he's not scary and all that stuff. And a main message of this movie is getting over your fears and stuff, so you actually are rooting for Arlo. They do, however, do a lot of things where he gets beat up. And that is a flaw for me because it was a little hard to watch at some parts. Because this is a kid's movie. Like, it is geared for the whole family. Everyone in your family can watch it. It's not for 5-year-olds. However, there are some parts where it's just like, oh, jeez. Like, for example, Arlo's like trying to climb over this wall of rock and stuff. He falls and they show him hitting his chin against another rock. It's like, oh, dude, why'd you show that? You've seen it in the trailer. He's trying to get some berries and the rock he's on slides and he falls and he gets trapped under another rock over his leg. Like, ow! And as I mentioned, he gets separated by his family from falling into a river. After he's done being in the river and he's on shore, he gets out of the water but falls down. You see like giant bruises on him. It's like, oh, no. That's not necessarily a thing you'd want to see. Just see this dinosaur kid get beat up the whole time. And it wasn't the whole time, but there's a lot of scenes where it does happen, and it was a little hard to watch. However, Spot is really frickin' adorable. Like, he's just a young kid who acts like an animal, and he's really cool. And he and Arlo actually work very well together. They're very good. You can actually feel them bonding throughout the movie, even though there's not a lot of words spoken because this kid is a mute. He doesn't talk. He does go, ow, but he doesn't say any words. And the no dialogue part actually really supports the film also because there is a beautiful scene where barely anyone's talking. Arlo does say a couple words and Spot makes a couple noises, but there's a beautiful scene where they're like by the river and they're drawing stuff in the sand, and it's beautiful. It's, oh, great. That's wonderful. Thanks, Pixar, making me want to cry all the time. You're great people. And yes, The Good Dinosaur does have a very sad moment at the end. Tears. However, speaking of the ending, there is a thing that kind of starts to happen that feels a little forced. Like, it comes out of nowhere, and then it's just like, oh, it's actually important. Wow. But it does lead to a very sad scene at the end, and Pixar, you want our tears. I think that's what they want, guys. They are able to power their whole company by our tears from watching their movies. However, while Arlo and Spot go on their adventure through this land, they meet a couple other characters that don't really impact the movie that much. And they were cool to see. They weren't terrible. It's just they didn't feel like they made an impact. Even dinosaurs that kind of pose a threat to Arlo in the movie, and if you've seen the trailer, you probably know which ones I'm talking about. They didn't really feel right. Like, they were only in 2 scenes of the movie. What was happening didn't really feel necessary or in any way, shape, or form a payoff. But that's pretty much my only flaw with the movie. Basically, the new characters didn't really impact the movie that much. I think there's one thing that happens near the end was really forced, and Arlo gets beat up unnecessarily to the point where I kind of wanted to close my eyes a bit. But for the most part, I freaking adored The Good Dinosaur, and I'm gonna give it a B+. It has great animation. It has some really great characters. Is it as memorable as most of their Pixar stuff? No, but are they still good characters? Yes. And overall, it is just a really fun movie that all the kids will like, and even the parents will like too. The whole family will like it. But if you saw The Good Dinosaur, leave in the comments below what you thought of it, and I'm gonna have a trailer review for Captain America: Civil War. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.